What is your American dream?
The American dream, if anybody works hard enough, they can do anything they want to do, right?
I want to see the American dream afforded to everybody, regardless of their race, sexual orientation, or anything.
I do feel like I have reached it, and it's very close to my personal mission in life, which is to write the stories of my comunidad and to use my voice and any success that I have to help lift up their voices and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
My American dream is that everybody in this country has the same opportunities that I had. I feel very privileged in my life. I benefited so much from the abundance in this country, but I know that many people don't have the same access to these privileges that I do. And so my dream is that every American has the same access that I had.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. It's Friyay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Bernstein. Friyay sounds very similar to me. February 12th, 2021. I am live. This is a pop-up, although we're starting around the time we're supposed to start. Pop-ups are supposed to start whenever. Just kind of worked out we're popping up at the right time. Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
This is the right time?
What? We're popping up. We're popping up when we're supposed to do our show.
We're here.
I know. It's like the opposite of what the pop-up is supposed to be. We're supposed to pop up some other time.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Here we are again at the same time.
Only at Brad Show Live. We're here again at the same time. We're supposed to fool everybody and tell them you gotta subscribe, you gotta follow, because you never know when we're gonna pop up. Right, and we're gonna surprise you at this random time. We pop up at the same exact time.
We gotta get better at our pop-ups, squad. We gotta get better at our pop-ups.
We gotta do much better at our pop-ups. What do you think?
I agree.
Like, wouldn't you love to surprise them at a weird hour, like when they're all sleeping?
That's what we used to do, kind of.
We used to do after hours, remember? We used to do Brad Show after hours. Yeah. We used to pop up in the middle late morning sometimes. Yeah. We don't do that anymore. We got to get back.
You don't.
Yo-Yo, what'd you do to your face? You look different.
I'm in my room, so like
something looks different.
I'm in the room, so like lighting is really.
No. The light that's on the beard? There, the haircut.
Nope, something is different with Yo-Yo.
What
did you do with the real Yo-Yo?
I'm his twin brother.
You're not the real Yo-Yo. The real Yo-Yo has a mole. No, I'm only kidding.
Where do I have a mole?
You don't have a mole. I was making a joke. I was just like, there's an imposter Yo-Yo. You look different a little bit. I don't know what. I can't put
lighting.
You said it. It's the lighting.
I can't put my finger on it. Vanessa, you look as beautiful as always. You are the real Vanessa for sure. The real boss lady.
I try to be consistent.
Yes, very consistent. There you are. With the flowing hair and everything. We can't miss you. But that Yo-Yo, something happened there to Yo-Yo overnight.
Listen, side note, I love extra scruffy Uncle Brad. I have to say that.
Really?
I will always say that. I really like extra scruffy Uncle Brad.
Really? I'm thinking of making myself crazy over the next 2 weeks and just really growing my beard out and then shaving my head. And then look like a crazy man. What do you think?
Or like Santa, whichever one comes first.
Well, Santa has hair.
You should line it up.
Santa has hair, but like this some bald guy with like this big thick beard. People will be like, that guy is crazy. I don't think anybody, or he needs to shave, or that guy just really needs to buy a razor. One or the other. I don't think I would ever look crazy. I'm trying to, make myself look crazier. Just because I feel like it.
Grow some dreadlocks.
Just to. Ooh. I would need fake hair to do that. I would not be able to do that.
I mean, your hair will grow long enough, at least on the sides.
No, I would need fake hair.
I got something for you.
What do you got?
I got something for you.
What do you got? Hair
we'll
extensions?
talk after the show.
You got some hair extensions for me?
I got some great products for you. We'll talk about that later. Let's say hi to the squad.
I don't know if she's going to give me hair extensions, a toupee, or some black paint on my head. I'm not sure what you're going to give me. Or you got some other stuff. Either or. All right, let's say hello to the squad. It is Friyay, so we kind of have fun on Friyay. Let's say hello to Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed, Chin Ramsey, Denisha Wright. It's Apple Pie. Every time I say her name, I get hungry. Damn. I didn't eat lunch today.
Love apple pie.
I do love apple pie, and I'm telling you the truth. I wasn't hungry. I forgot I didn't eat lunch, and then I say it's apple pie, and I'm like, damn, I didn't eat lunch today. Now I'm hungry. It's apple pie. Thank you, Myrtle Ray. Squad up. How are you, Letitia Johnson, Joy Titus, Babita, Dianarine. I said Myrtle Ray already. Dion Reed, Demba South. Squad up. Do you guys, like when you're busy, you forget to eat, right?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
I think it's like
all the time.
I think it's the best diet in the world. Just be busy and forget to eat, right?
That's how I stayed in shape.
Really? By forgetting to eat.
Good. But I heard
it's not good.
What? Who'd you hear that from?
Because what your stomach does is it thinks that you're starving it, so then it holds the food in there, so it holds the fats, so it can just, because your body is real smart. So
where are you talking to me from?
Bigger. I'm
there you are. I thought you were just like in the air. There you are.
There was just a voice.
There was just a voice. I thought maybe you were in the ceiling. I'm like, where are you talking to me from?
That was your body talking to you.
In the Dr. Love voice.
Yeah, that was, you know what? It was like the real yo-yo is like hidden somewhere. I'm telling you, you look different to me. You don't look like the real yo-yo today. Yeah. I really believe you could be an imposter.
Look slimmer. I don't know what it is.
Right?
Like there's not just the lighting yo-yo. Yeah. He's right. There's something
there. Really?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Vanessa, do you want to have a Scooby-Doo moment and go over there and pull the mask off and see who the real yo-yo is? You're not the real yo-yo, and just pull the mask off.
Maybe
of course.
This is the yo-yo we're getting moving forward. Yes. We just got to take them.
Right, of course. It's Mr. Williams who runs the roller coaster at the Scary Amusement Park. We know it all along, right?
That's my cartoon.
You look different today. I don't know why. You know who's watching?
Who's watching?
Love Found.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but they found it. They have found it.
And it's Valentine's Day weekend, so I'm glad they found it.
That is right.
I'm here for that.
That is right. LaToya, his Forever Peterson, also found it. I am sure by whoever his is, whoever LaToya's him is, it's forever. He better be giving her some good Valentine's Day weekend stuff, right? Whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Whether it's a dinner, a night out, something. Because LaToya is forever his. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All right, Georgia Unbreakable, Crystal, I'm a Conqueror, Francis, Christina Guzman, Squad Up, Stargirl Mika, how are you? Sophia Gray, Chisholm, Cheaty Man Doherty, Squad Up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Charlotte Muzzo, Olivia Love, different from Found Love, or maybe the same, but we don't know. Ginger Juice. I said Charlotte Muzzo. By the way, ginger juice, the best thing to have if you feel like you're coming down with a sickness. You have a shot of ginger juice, right?
Even if you don't, it's good for you.
It's good for you, right? Yeah, ginger juice is good for you. So I don't mind ginger juice making comments because
it's good for us.
It's good for us. Even making a comment by ginger juice is good for us. You're right.
Yes.
All right, take it away, guys.
All right, squad. Now, you already know what time it is. It is time to share because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest news, including breaking down some of President Biden's new restrictions on ICE.
And it's time for some Friyay fun headlines, including an attorney whose he insists that he's a cat.
No, he insists he's not a cat. He's not a cat.
That he insists that he's not a cat. So stay tuned for some belly laughs.
And of course, you can always call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. It's that number scrolling. Wait, it's that number scrolling right below me right now. You can call internationally 212-227-8933. And remember, if you'd like to play a virtual game with us on our show, you want to do a game, then just DM us in any of our direct messaging, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, on YouTube. You can just say, hey, I'd like to play a game, and in the comments, and we'll figure out how to get in touch with you. We will make it happen. But right now, guys, you know what time it is?
It's time to schmooze.
It's time for schmoozing with Brad.
It's time for schmoozing with Brad. We did it in somewhat of a unison. We got to do it on Monday. I'd like to set up a Zoom call, and we're going to practice to do it in harmony. All right?
Well, it's kind of hard to do it in harmony when we're all, there's a delay. There's always a little delay.
All right, who's going to be the baritone? Schmoozing?
I think one person should do it.
Just one person. We don't want to do it in harmony.
Nah.
Yeah.
Unless we're in the studio.
You know what? That's
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I just really just wanted to have a Zoom call with you to hang out with you guys. But I'm trying to come up with reasons to hang out with you guys. You keep saying no. I don't want to do it.
We can still
You're starting to upset me now. I'm coming up with reasons every day. Hey, we should practice and do this. You're like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. Nah. Meanwhile, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is preparing to issue new guidelines to agents that could sharply curb arrests and deportations of immigrants in America. The change comes as President Biden attempts to assert more control over an agency afforded very wide latitude under the Trump administration, according to memos and emails obtained by the Washington Post. While Immigration and Customs Enforcement's new operational plans are not yet final, interim instructions sent to senior officials point to a major shift in enforcement of immigration laws. Agents are no longer going to seek to deport immigrants for crimes such as driving under the influence and simple assault, and instead are going to focus on national security threats, recent border crossers, and people completing prison and jail terms for aggravated felonies. Acting Director Tay Johnson said, generally, these convictions would not include drug-based crimes for less serious offenses, simple assault, driving under the influence, minor money laundering cases, minor property crime cases, minor fraud, tax crimes, solicitation, and charges without convictions. The Biden administration is attempting to reorient the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a law enforcement agency that has seen its priorities wildly swing from one president to the next. But frustrated ICE officials, it's not easy to change people overnight. They're frustrated now, and they say they're taking, the Biden administration is going to take away agents' discretion from arresting people who they think should be deported. And it's going to severely constrain their ability to go out in the field and find immigrants who are deportable. Yeah, that's the whole point, okay? The Biden administration, exactly, Mr. Frustrated ICE official, that's the exact point. The Biden administration wants to focus on deporting people who have aggravated felonies, which are serious crimes, who are potential security threats for terrorism in the United States of America. Those are the people that they should be concentrating on. Somebody who makes a minor error, especially now we've seen it, okay? If you're black, brown, a minority, you are extraordinarily more likely to be arrested in the United States than a white man, okay, which means that if you are black, brown, or a minority, you're getting arrested for minor offenses that ultimately would lead to deportation. Now, ICE officials have still said that if you are unlawfully in the United States, you can be subject to arrest. It's not that they're not going to arrest you. It's just they're going to change their priorities. So let's see what happens. And by the way, their top priorities are drug trafficking, aggravated felonies, sex crimes, and serious felony assaults, and obviously murder. We found out yesterday, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, it is the year of what?
The ox.
The ox. Correct. So happy Chinese New Year, Brad Squad. It begins today, February 12th. It is the start of the new lunar calendar. Each year is assigned one of 12 Chinese zodiac signs. And this year, in 2021, we got an ox. Now, some historical figures who were born in the year of the ox. They include Napoleon Bonaparte, the conqueror of Europe in the 1800s. Vincent van Gogh, a crazy Frenchman who cut his ear off for love. Never sold a painting, but you know, in his life, Vincent van Gogh never sold a painting, never made one penny, earning income as an artist, and now one of the most famous artists ever to live on the earth.
That's kind of foul.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Never sold a painting. Never sold a painting. Charlie Chaplin.
And cut off his ear.
And cut off his ear for love. He was in a psychiatric. He was in a psychiatric ward for many years. You know that famous painting, which is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art right here in New York City, Starry Nights, with the really thick blue, and that he did that when he was in a psychiatric ward. He was off the rails when he was making that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was off the rails when he was making that one.
Wow.
And it's beautiful.
Yes.
Masterpiece.
Yes, it is a masterpiece. It's crazy, right? Literally. Also, Charlie Chaplin, born in the year of the ox. Walt Disney, also known for Mickey Mouse, born in the year of the ox. One of Yo-Yo's favorite presidents, Richard Nixon, born in...
I thought you was about to say Barack Obama.
No. Richard Nixon.
Yo-Yo was like, who?
I was just double checking that you were not an imposter. Now I believe.
No, absolutely not.
Now I believe you are the real Yo-Yo. Margaret Thatcher, Morgan Freeman, Bruce Springsteen, and one of Yo-Yo's favorite presidents of all time, Barack Obama, also born in the year of the ox. Princess Diana. George Clooney, born in the year of the ox. Do you find George Clooney a handsome man? He's older now. Do you go for him?
So handsome.
So handsome.
So handsome. Yeah.
Really? Even at his...
Do you think he's handsome, or is it just his swag?
I think it's a good mix of both, but he's easy on the eyes as well. Like, what do you guys want me to tell you? I don't mind this George Clooney movie. What you mean?
Right.
What's your favorite George Clooney movie?
Ocean's 12.
Oh, okay.
Like, it doesn't get any better than those.
Right? Ocean's 12 is a good George Clooney movie. Right?
That's a good one.
I like those.
Yeah.
In addition to China, the Lunar New Year is also observed in other Asian countries, South Korea, parts of Southeast Asia. So from the entire crew of Brad Show Live, we wish everybody a happy Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there is, on the first day of the Chinese New Year, an impeachment going on right now. And I was just telling Jill, you know what? I think that we got to stop talking about Trump. You want to know why? There's no such thing as bad publicity. Why is Donald Trump, who is no longer the president, who can't get on Twitter, the number one story in America today still? It bothers me.
That man.
It bothers me.
That man,
it bothers me.
He loves to be in the limelight.
The best thing the world can do is stop talking about him. The
I
best,
agree.
the best thing
Literally.
the world can do is stop talking about him. So you know what? He's getting. So let me fill you in. The Democrats want to impeach him. The Republicans still love him. He will not be impeached. End of story. They'll vote later today. All right. What else is happening? Oh, this is nice. Last week, Ngozi Ukonjo-Iweala. Let me pronounce her name again better. I apologize.
Yeah.
All right. Ngozi Ukonjo-Iweala. Ukonjo-Iweala.
Weila?
Maybe Weila. Do you know
Weila.
she received the Biden administration's strong support to become Director General of the World Trade Organization. She is a Nigerian finance minister and worked at the World Bank for 25 years. And she is on track to become the first woman and first African to lead the World Trade Organization.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
wow.
nice.
That's so. I love to hear stories like
Nigeria
that.
representing.
Yeah, that's nice. Now, we also have to talk about coronavirus because
It wouldn't be
it wouldn't be
a day in
it wouldn't be a
2021
day.
if we didn't.
Correct. Our friends at Johns Hopkins University now says 60 million people have recovered from coronavirus. And the United States, 476,000 people dead. The UK coronavirus variant is posing a growing threat to Europe, and the World Health Organization warned that shutdowns may be necessary across the region if it becomes a dominant strain. The good news is that Dr. Fauci has said come April 1st, there will be enough vaccine available that anybody who wants to be able to get a vaccine should be able to make an appointment to get one. The key thing is they're going to have enough vaccines. Do they have enough people who know how to give the vaccine in your arm? Can't just, just have any random Joe do it. You need to be trained at least a little bit, I would assume, right?
No, I agree.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That their biggest issue now is the actual staff can just do the, what they call the jab.
I'd rather that be the issue than them not having enough for us because they can, teach the nurses and the doctors in the hospitals to do it.
Meanwhile, it is Friyay. Let's have some fun. Let's go into the weekend with some fun.
Story.
Did you see that cat video, or you don't know what we're talking about, Vanessa?
No, I heard it.
You heard about. Okay, all right. A lot of people have seen it, but let's talk about it. Rod Ponton, he's a county attorney in Presidio County, Texas. He recently found himself unable to figure out how to turn off the count filter on his Zoom call during a hearing on Tuesday in the Texas 394th Judicial District Court. So, all us lawyers, in every state, court is in session, but it's in session by Zoom now. Okay, it's very rare. It's very rare that lawyers are actually going into court. So all the hearings are being done by Zoom because the judges, they don't want to get COVID. The lawyers don't want to get COVID. The defendants don't want to get COVID. The plaintiffs don't want to get COVID. Nobody wants to get COVID, so they're doing it all by Zoom these days. So,
Smart.
but when this attorney, so this was a real court hearing in Texas, but the result was a video immediately hailed across the internet as an instant classic. Let's watch.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
we're trying to. Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
Not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to this.
I'm not a cat. That's the best line. That is the best line. And then,
Not a cat.
and then the funniest is
actually hilarious.
and then the reactions of the other two lawyers, like one lawyer's not even paying attention. And the other lawyer's like, what the heck's going on here? Like puts his glasses on. He's like looking a little closer. Like,
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That
like, I'm ready to proceed. I'm not a cat.
That was funny.
That was very funny. The first time I saw it, I had to watch it like 5 times. Now I've seen it so many times now. I don't laugh as much, but the first 4 or 5 times I saw it, I was rolling.
That's my first time
I
seeing
That was the
it.
first time you saw it. I was
a
rolling.
little longer of that.
I was rolling.
When he looks down, that part.
You know, the
kills me.
schmoozing with Brad side. If we could get the schmoozing with Brad side, take that down a second, Mitch, and run it again. Because what's also classic is the other lawyer. He's like, what the heck's going on here? And he's like getting closer and closer. He's putting on his glasses. And the cat lawyer's going, I'm not a cat. Yeah, let's watch again.
Hysterical.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
We're trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat. Oh man, that is.
I can see that.
Yeah, you're right.
I think if you click the up arrow next to this,
That is just the funniest thing.
hilarious.
Can you imagine?
One on top was not even paying attention at all.
Yeah,
until they mentioned
yeah. One guy's
that.
like, who cares? The other guy's like, what the heck's going on here?
Right. That is hilarious.
It was so funny, so funny. Meanwhile, in Chicago, people go crazy to save parking spots. They do it in a lot of cities, in Philadelphia, New York. But a Chicago man's unusual method of trying to save his parking space is gaining attention on social media after he perfected a method of freezing his jeans so they stand on their own. Adam Selzer posted photos to Twitter showing him reserving a shoveled-out parking space using a pair of frozen pants that he shaped to stand up on his own. Can you imagine? Reserving parking spaces is common in Chicago. Residents often use lawn chairs, traffic cones, but this is the first time anybody's seen frozen jeans.
I'm not gonna hold you. That would creep me the hell out. That would creep me out.
That would creep you out. Would you steal somebody's parking space if they were doing that? You'd be like, this guy's crazy. I don't want to get into a fight with this guy.
Invisible Man?
Yeah, Invisible Man. Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I wouldn't mess with that.
Now I'll tell you how he does it. You soak a pair in water and you put them inside out and you wait 20 minutes for them to form into the shape you want in the cold. And then in another 20 minutes, they're rock solid. So it takes about 40 minutes and then you just stand it up.
Wow.
You're just basically you're basically freezing jeans.
Just like that.
Just like that.
You gonna try that?
No. I don't do that because I'll end up getting into fights with people. I don't want to fight. It's Valentine's Day, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm gonna fight over parking spots now. Right. I got bigger fish to fry than parking spots. Right. Meanwhile, Chicago restaurateur Robert Majit has been buying out street vendors tamales so they can call it a day during the city's brutal cold snap. He says on average he purchases 15 dozen tamales at $16 a dozen. He told CNN at first they had disbelief. People don't understand, why am I buying all these tamales? He said, what's great is when we visit vendors for a second time and seeing how excited they are knowing they're about to be bought out and they can go home. And no, he doesn't eat them. He spends his hours giving them out to the community, to people who are in need of food through stocking love fridges scattered around the area. He also provides the tamales to the homeless. So that's really nice. So he's doing two good deeds at once. He's buying out the street vendors who are having trouble, during COVID like everybody else. And they're out on the street selling tamales, but nobody's on the street because no one's coming to work. Because they're all selling their tamales in the business districts. But who's coming to work? Everybody's at home working remotely. So these vendors who, like many people live week to week, they're not doing very well. So this guy comes, he buys them all out within an hour, so they don't even have to wait out in the cold all day. And then he takes the
really
tamales
nice.
and then gives them to people in need. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's nice of him.
Yeah.
Mm.
And finally, a University of Georgia student said her professor gave her another shot to finish her economics exam after a meatball incidentally logged her out prematurely, giving her a failing grade. Now, Vanessa, I've seen the dog ate my homework. I'm sick. Okay. Have you ever used the excuse in school, college, high school, a meatball shut off my computer? Have you ever thought of even using that excuse?
Listen, man, I'm pretty clever, but that's not one on my list.
It worked.
No.
The meatball worked. You know what? This guy, Sam Lee. We don't know if a meatball would have shut off his computer. We're going to find out how in a second, okay? But you know what? The teacher fell for it. He was eating his sandwich. He claims he was eating his sandwich while taking the test. When a meatball fell out of the sandwich onto the keyboard, it hit the escape button and closed the entire browser.
What?
Oh, it's a woman. Sam Lee is a woman. She said she was initially more worried about her sandwich and computer, that one of them would have been ruined. But when she realized the screen she was taking the exam on was no longer there, she began to panic. I then took about 6 hours to write an email to my professor and sent it later that night. The letter in part read, "Dear Professor Lashstraps, I had some technical difficulties and outside of distractions during the test today, something hit my computer and caused it to submit the test when I had less than half of the questions answered. By something, I mean it was a meatball that had tragically fallen onto my keyboard. I was taking the exam." She concluded her email to her professor by asking if she could take it again. I would say the professor is a sucker. I don't believe
Such a sucker.
That is a sucker. I would have said too
Go
bad.
ahead, Yo-Yo.
I would have said too bad. Don't eat a meatball when you're taking your exam. Take your exam seriously.
My mom always told me, don't eat while you do your homework.
That's right.
Don't bring food around your schoolwork. Go ahead, Yo-Yo. Defend this one. Go for it.
I think it depends on the student. You know, if the student is a screwball who always comes up like, one of those clowns in class, like, I wouldn't believe him. But like, if it's a student that is an actual good student, an A or B student, like never have any problems with them, I would understand and I would believe it.
Yeah, I believe that when you are in university, you're an adult, and sometimes.
Wait, this is university or high school?
College, and sometimes
college.
yeah, and sometimes you have to you have to be treated like an adult. Because in the real world, if you were working on a project for your boss and you said, "Oh, by the way, I was eating a meatball over my computer and it dropped and I deleted the project and now we're going to lose the account," you don't get a do-over. Your boss won't say, "Okay, well, don't eat meatballs while, too bad. You may even lose your job."
Well, I
think this is not kindergarten. This is a university. I would, if I was the professor, I would have been like, "Next time, don't eat when you're taking an exam."
And I feel like we would be two different professors. There's different styles of teaching.
Right.
Me personally, like when I was a boss, I was really cool at Abercrombie and Fitch. I let them, I was the cool boss, but like I made sure that they got the work done. So like if I did allow them to go and do the test over, I would make sure that is like, you have 2 hours to get it in, go home right now and do it right now, whatever that case may be. I wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, just like all free willy-nilly." I would make sure that like they still learn from their lesson, but I'll give them a chance, man. The world is tough out there.
I say give them an F and learn your lesson. Don't eat while you're taking the test.
I wouldn't do that, but that's just me.
Well, that's just me.
Leave it to Yo-Yo. Professor Yo-Yo.
All right. In Braducation, I answer the question, what do I do if I'm injured working on a construction site in New York? Let's watch. In New York, there is strict liability
you get injured on a work site because either the employer did not follow proper safety protocol and give you a proper safety device, or because you fall or something falls on you. First thing you should always do is stay exactly where you are. Don't get driven to the hospital. Don't have your employer drive you to the hospital. Because as soon as that happens, the employer says, this person didn't get hurt here, and you're undocumented and you're concerned about bringing litigation, and now there's a question of whether you were even working on that work site because you're getting paid off the books. There's no payroll records. So if you get injured, you stay exactly where you are. Everybody has a cell phone. You call 911 for two reasons. Number one, the quickest way to the hospital is with an ambulance, quicker than your employer driving you. And number two, an ambulance picking you up where you got injured in a construction site documents you were injured on a construction site. And they have safety inspectors on the job site. The safety inspectors, they make pretend they're your friend, but they are not your friend. The safety inspectors are employed by the insurance companies to try to get information from you so that they can say they're not responsible for the accident. They come to interview you, they come to be your friend, but they're really not your friend. And lastly, take a lot of pictures, because by their own design, construction sites change every day because things are getting built.
All right, let's go to the meat and potatoes, the meatballs and the spaghetti part of the show. But I will not eat a meatball and drop it on my computer. Let's do, you got a question? I got an answer. In getting answers to your immigration questions. All right, Dave in Sacramento, California. Dave.
Hey, Brad. Thanks for everything that you're doing. I have two questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Excuse me, the water went down the wrong throat, but I do hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I came in this country in 2014. Since that, I was an asylum applicant. I overstayed on my visa. That was a B1 and B2. So I got arrested in 2019 for the first time. I got involved in the fight with my friend. But later on, he didn't file any charges against me.
Right.
So the case has been dismissed. And the second time I got arrested while my friends were visiting me from Canada. And, I really don't know the law of this country. And I hit the, fence and I left the scene. So, but later on, I apologized to the police station. I went there. I told them I didn't know the law.
Did any of these end up in convictions?
No, it was never. And in the conviction, the hit and draw, they later docked.
Okay, and the first case, did it end up in a conviction?
No, it was dismissed. I never charged with that.
Okay, so you have two arrests and both were dismissed. When did you get your green card? When did you get your green card?
No, I did not have any green card, but right now I just got married with my wife. She's an American citizen, and I'm looking to file permanent resident through my wife.
Sure.
So my question is there any consequences for me if I apply to my wife now? Because
you should apply. There is no law that says if you're arrested, you can't get a green card. There is a law that says you have to show good moral character, and perhaps being arrested several times may go against your good moral character. But it sounds like both of these arrests were really silly, minor things. And I think that if you filed your adjustment, you would have probably a really, really, really excellent chance of being able to show you're a person of good moral character. That's only reason how these criminal cases could affect you. But both minor offenses. It's not like you got arrested for attempted murder and you got off, or you got arrested for sale of drugs and the charges were dismissed. those would be much more serious offenses that I would be concerned about. But what you described to me is petty stuff. They were both dismissed. I would think that you would get your green card. Perhaps you would want to have a good lawyer, but hold on one second. Let's go to Jay in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Jay, how are you?
Hello, sir. Yeah, can you hear me well?
I hear you perfect.
Oh, good. Great. Okay, so let me just give you a very quick background prior to my question. So I'm a former green card holder for about 17 years in U.S. I'm a registered nurse in U.S., but I got a couple of misdemeanors. So in 06, after I broke up with my girlfriend, I put a no-contact order against her. Then 2 weeks, she put another no-contact order against me. It became mutual, and she decided to falsely accuse me of rape. Now, it was dismissed, but I got an anti-harassment order violation and criminal trespass. And then finally, in 2015...
Right. So just so you know, a violation of an order of protection is an aggravated felony. So you got deported on that?
Well, here's the thing. In 2015, I requested a voluntary departure.
Uh-huh.
So I suppose that's a good thing because it's not technically deportation, because in 2015, I had a no-contact order against my ex-wife. And just because I was 20 feet away from her at my daughter's high school graduation by accident with no intention, I was dumb enough to,
you had orders of protection from two different women.
Yes, and then yesterday, so I got voluntary departure back in 2016, and I did everything right. I've never been illegal for a second there. I'm a registered nurse in the U.S. So yesterday, I finally filed the DS-230, right, for a green card through my son.
Right.
And my lawyer told me, so I'm calling to get a second opinion from you, Brad. So my lawyer told me that in the explain section of the criminal part of the DS-230, he told me to just stick to the basics of the charges and convictions because he said the immigration officer, they're just worried about explaining just the bottom line, the charge and the conviction. And that at the interview, I should be able to have the chance to explain, how things got into place, the jail.
I would need to see the dispositions. If you have domestic violence offenses, that would prevent you from getting a green card. If you have multiple assault convictions, that would prevent you from getting a green card. I don't know what your criminal record looks like. And it's not about, you could explain everything till the cows come home. Your explanation at an interview actually is meaningless. It could only hurt you, not help you. It would hurt you if they're caught in a lie. It doesn't help you in any way. It's not like you can talk your way out of it. The disposition is the disposition. And in immigration, they go on, what were you found guilty of? Period. And you look at it from a legal point of view. You were found guilty of XYZ, of this particular law, in this particular state, and you got this particular sentence. And if you are found guilty of this law, in this state, in this sentence, do we classify that as nothing? Do we classify that as a crime of moral turpitude? Do we classify that as an aggravated felony? Do we classify that as a domestic violence offense? And it's based on what you pled guilty to and what your sentence is, and they classify it. And it has nothing to do with what your explanation is. Your explanation is irrelevant. It's, what is this classified? Did you plead guilty? How is this classified? Now, they will ask you about all of these arrests because they're not your friend. They're looking to trip you up. They're looking to find you in a lie. They're looking to find out more information that they can use against you. Not to help you, against you. So when your lawyer says, you'll explain it away at the interview, what kind of BS is that? You're not explaining anything away. All you're doing is, by explaining it, is just opening yourself up for more problems. So you just answer the question as succinctly as you can. Now, if you're asking me, let me finish. if you're asking me, are you going to get through? I don't have the slightest idea because I would need to see your criminal records. And then I would need to determine whether or not you have crimes of moral turpitude, aggravated felonies, domestic violence, or maybe you got nothing. If you are inadmissible, let me finish. If you are inadmissible and your son is filing for you, now you don't have an order of deportation because you took a voluntary departure. So you don't need a waiver for the deportation. But you could be found inadmissible based on these particular offenses that you pled guilty to. Let me finish. If you got deported as a result and you ended up having to take a voluntary departure and give up your green card, I would assume you're also inadmissible. So you can't get a waiver through your son for criminal activity unless all of this criminal activity took place more than 15 years ago. So if it was within the last 15 years, this lawyer having you file for your son is just spinning your wheels. You're going to go in. You've been found guilty of offenses that you ended up having to take a voluntary departure. So we know they would have ordered you deported had you fought out the case. So if they would have ordered you deported, most likely you're inadmissible to come back to the U.S. You can't get a waiver through your children. There is no waiver for crimes through your children. The only waiver is 15-year statute of limitations. It all happened more than 15 years ago. And that's assuming it's only crimes of moral turpitude. It's not something more serious. So I'm not sure what your lawyer is doing by having your son file for you, by giving you hope of coming back, or by telling you to talk more and more at your interview. All three is terrible advice. All of it. So what I would suggest is, I'm happy you called for a second opinion. What I would suggest you do is have a second consultation. So hold on one second. Let's go to Stephen in Greenview, Texas. Stephen.
Yes, sir.
How are you
doing, sir? Thank you, Mr. Green. We really, really appreciate you, sir.
My pleasure.
Your program has helped a lot of people, and may God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
More grace, more grace. So the quick question I have for you is this, sir. I saw a note of, is it N400 or N100 about if you have a green card, you can now apply for a citizenship. I don't know. How does that work?
Well, the N400 is the application for citizenship. Depending on how you got your green card will determine when you apply. If you got your green card and you're in the military, you can apply after 1 year of having a green card. If you got your green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen and you remain in that marriage, in a bona fide marriage for 3 years after you got your green card, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years. Otherwise, everybody else, you wait 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
So R1 has to wait 5, period.
5, period.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Do you think there's going to be a change on that in the nearest future for like 2 years or?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know the answer to that. All right.
Okay.
Because the immigration laws are going to be overhauled, so we'll see what happens. All right.
You said what?
I said everything's going to be overhauled, hopefully, positively. When I say overhauled, it's a positive overhaul, not a negative one. Hopefully in the next few months. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
You have a beautiful day. Thank you. Annette in North Bergen, New Jersey. Annette.
It's a judge.
Hello. Annette. Annette.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Annette. Hello, hello.
So I put, good night. Sorry about that. So I put a I-130 form for my daughter that was in 2019.
Right.
Of May, and I haven't heard anything else. The only thing I heard back from them, I only got the receipt number. That was it.
All right. Are you a citizen or resident?
Pardon?
Are you a U.S. citizen or are you a U.S. resident?
No, a green card holder.
How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
How did you get your green card?
My mom, she got married to a U.S. citizen, so it was, her thing came through a marriage.
Okay, and then your stepdad filed for you? You were a young...
Yes.
And you were under 21.
It was him.
Right, so you were under 21 when your stepdad filed for you, so you couldn't bring your child with you at the time.
Yeah, I got through before I was 21,
right, okay. And how old was your child when you filed when you were under 21?
2019, she was like 5.
Okay. All right. So now you filed an I-130 for her right when you came up, and you still haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't heard anything
All right.
since.
So what you need to do, because she's eligible for a green card immediately, if you can get the visa petition approved.
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
I said if you can get the visa petition approved, she would be presumably eligible for her green card if this proclamation is lifted at the end of March. So what you should do is, right now, nothing, because there's this proclamation that they're not approving anybody. But assuming the
So I have to wait until the end of March?
Right. And then assuming they lift the proclamation, I would make an inquiry, wait 15 days, and then do a mandamus.
You're kind of breaking up.
I can't help it. I can't move from the spot. So it's your phone. I'm not on a cell phone.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
I know, but in other words, I'm not on the cell phone. It's your phone. So it's not me moving. You got to move. So my answer to you was wait till the end of March. Let's see if the proclamation is lifted, and then make a couple inquiries, and then do a mandamus.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ashanti in Salt Lake City, Utah. Ashanti.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I am doing good. So I got a question for you. I came here 4 years ago on a B1, B2 visa, and I stayed. But before I stayed, I filed an extension. But I don't know. I left where I was in Washington State before the extension, before I knew that they wanted documents. But I never received anything. And then I've lived here for 3 years out of status. And I just received a letter for removal. So I was trying to figure out, what do I do?
If you're in removal right now,
It's for June.
Okay. If you're in removal as an overstay, you have 3 general choices. Okay. There's lots of different applications, but they fall within 3. Okay. One is don't deport me. I'm eligible for my green card right now, which generally is I got married to a U.S. citizen in a bona fide marriage. Or perhaps years and years ago your parents filed for you, and luckily you're eligible for a green card, or your brother or sister, or somehow you're eligible for a green card. Don't deport me. Second way is I've been here for 10 years and there'd be a hardship to my family if I was deported, but you don't have the 10 years. The third way is don't deport me because my life's in danger if I go home, whether that's asylum, Convention Against Torture, withholding of removal. As of the moment, before Trump, there was a 4th one where they had prosecutorial discretion where you can just, play the violins and say, this is a sad story, we shouldn't deport the person. And they would agree not to do it. But they don't have that anymore. Maybe Biden will bring it back. What do? You need a good lawyer. That's what you need right now. But that's generally everybody's choices at the moment.
Okay. And hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
So I'm supposed to get married in 2 months. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I file and
all right. So let me make this suggestion to you. Okay, you love your husband, your future husband. I assume your future husband loves you. What's more important than waiting 2 months to get married is saving you here in America. So if you are truly in love with each other and it's going to be a real marriage, go get married now. You have a court date in June. You got to file an I-130 immediately and get it approved and show the judge this has been pending for a bona fide marriage exemption, because they're going to believe that you got married just to avoid deportation. So you got to file a visa petition with proof that it's a bona fide marriage, and you got to show up to the judge and say, I filed this months and months ago. I'm waiting for the approval. If you show up and say, Judge, I got married, what should I file? They'll say, get out of the country. You're gone. So go get married now. You guys love each other. Forget about having this special wedding. That's past the point. Go down to City Hall and get married.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Brad.
You're welcome. Tony in San Jose, California. Tony.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. So I recently, in 2020, in 2021, I got convicted of disorderly conduct.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2021, October, I got my green card through my employer. Like they didn't, they interviewed me about this disorderly conduct conviction, but they gave me the green card anyways.
Okay.
So now I was thinking of applying for citizenship after 5 years. So do I need to do any volunteer work and stuff like that to prove good moral character?
No.
Or just...
No, you don't. Because you needed to prove good moral character to adjust, and you already did it. You just had you had a disorderly conduct. It's not a criminal act. They gave you a green card. Now, to do your citizenship, you need 5 years good moral character. That disorderly conduct happened more than 5 years ago. You want to do voluntary, you want to do volunteer work because you're a great humanitarian, then go do it. But as long as you don't get arrested again, has no bearing on your citizenship.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're
That's
welcome.
all.
He says, now I don't need to do volunteer work. I'll just watch Bradshaw Live and sit home and watch Netflix. I don't need to volunteer anytime. Abby in Tamarick, Florida. Abby.
Hey, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So, I went for my interview last month, my I-485. Was there, everything went well with the interview. However, one thing that me and my husband, we had an account together, but it was like we weren't using it that much, right? So I didn't bring like the bank statements and stuff. And my husband is a truck driver, so I was staying with my sister. We do get a letter from her that I'm paying rent and so forth, right? So the immigration officer, she was like, she didn't have as much proof stating that this, like, we're living together.
Right.
So she said that the only way is that my husband should withdraw the petition and do over everything so that she can have more proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I got a letter stating that I have 33 days to leave the country.
Right.
So what do I do?
Okay, two things. Refile immediately before you get put in deportation. And two, start having a bona fide marriage. So a bona fide marriage would be you have a bank account, you use that bank account. The income you earn, the income your husband earns, goes into that bank account. You commingle your money. And out of that bank account, you pay all your bills, you pay your taxes, you pay all your debts of your marriage. Now you have a financial relationship with your husband, which you didn't have before. And in addition, you got to figure out how you and your husband are going to live together, because they don't believe this is a real marriage. And if you do nothing, you're going to get put in deportation very shortly. And number three, it sounds like you didn't have a lawyer, because I don't know, you should have been more prepared than this, based on what I'm listening.
Yeah, I didn't have a lawyer, but I did get letters and stuff from my sister.
Your sister giving you a letter is worth what? A grain of sand. It's your sister giving you a letter confirming this is a real marriage. How is that? It's the most biased letter I've ever heard in my life. All right, hold on. You need help. Hold on. All right. Where are we at? I got to go to the screen here. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein, you can drop me a DM. I'm happy to answer your questions. You can ask everybody in the comment section. I do answer. You can also follow us at Bradshaw Live. As I always say on every show, you can't handle 2 hours of Brad and Yo-Yo and Vanessa. That's just too much for you to handle, but you can handle 2 minutes. Watch at Bradshaw Live on Instagram. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, you ready to do some social media check-in?
Yep.
Let's do it. All right, what do we got?
All right, first one comes from Sheba Rawlings on Facebook saying, are the courthouses in New York open up now to do marriage ceremonies?
Not that I'm aware of. You still have to do it online.
Mameta Christian on Facebook, I applied for a removal of conditions on my green card through marriage on February 8th. USCIS sent an email that they received my biometrics. How long do I need to wait to get my 10-year green card?
At least 18 months.
Okay, Mr. Desmond on YouTube. Does one need to withdraw a filed K-1 case before getting married? And how long does it take to withdraw the case in order to file a spouse petition?
Are you getting married to the same person or a different person?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if you're getting married to the same person, you don't have to withdraw. Yeah, you can just withdraw the K-1 after you get married and just file for your spouse, wherever she may be.
Okay, Adanik Ganasola on YouTube. What about those people that have their I-485 pending? What is the next step? Is there any hope for them with the immigration reform?
I think it's so funny. What about those people? Well, those people are in really good shape if they have I-485 pending. That means they're eligible for their green card immediately. So they're in much better shape than most people who have no I-485. And hopefully they'll get their green card soon.
Muhammad Ola on YouTube. In 2009, my mom applied for her sister's I-130, got approved in 2010. Now, how much longer does she have to wait for her sister to come to the U.S.?
About another 2-3 years.
Audrey Lewis on YouTube. What will happen to unmarried green card holders with children whose case was approved but aged out due to the pandemic?
They're going to end up being in the F2B category. There's going to be no saving them.
Sompal Bomrong Jaron on Facebook. My sister filed an I-130 in December 2016. When is it going to be approved?
When's the I-130 going to be approved? Hopefully soon. I don't know. I'm not the immigration officer who's approving it, but hopefully soon.
Nino Ninola on Facebook. Does an asylum guarantee need of work authorization? Judge granted in 2018, applied for a green card after 1 year and took biometrics. I am still waiting for it. I have a regular driver's license, but get a commercial license. They request a green card or work authorization.
You should.
How can I get a work authorization when I...
Okay, the answer is you should have filed for an I-765 with your adjustment and put down C9 for I'm eligible for my work permit based on a pending adjustment. And you had another question on that.
And when I get my I-94 at Federal Plaza 2 years ago, they told me I don't need one, but now I am not permitted to take CDL exam.
Which is why you never listen to people who work at immigration, because they always screw you.
Okay, Sashay Ken's on Facebook. My sister's husband owns a business. His income tax was low when he filed. He's a U.S. citizen. Can he use his savings account to sponsor his wife? If he has $50K or more, can his mother co-sponsor with him if she just retired this year?
You can, but you're going to run into huge problems because you're not going to be able to show that you can support yourself, let alone the spouse coming. The law says you can take 20% of your savings and add it to your income, but that was before Trump put in the 944, which Biden hasn't taken out yet, where you have to show prospectively that your beneficiary can support herself here, and she's going to have a hard time unless she has a really good job lined up, because the petitioner could barely do it. So you're going to have a hard time. Not saying you can't do it, I'm just saying it's going to be a hard time.
Okay, last one comes from Harsh Patel. I have a question regarding the DREAM Act. I was 16 years old when I came to the U.S. My family applied for an asylum case. I haven't gotten an interview yet. So if the bill passes, will I be eligible to apply for that?
If you've been here for more than 4 years, yes.
All right, that's it. So now in today's Attorney Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre-Maingrette advises when couples should start preparing for their USCIS marriage interview.
I believe that they should start as soon as possible. So I tell a lot of the clients, they come in even before they get married, which is great. And I tell them that they should really start looking to prepare even before marriage. So I give them tips such as make sure that you have pictures together, like while you were dating. Make sure that you have pictures at the wedding, that you have family and friends. It's not a necessity to have a big wedding because some people are like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, no, you don't have to have a big wedding, but you need to show that you celebrate it and that you show some level of respect and decorum. It's a huge moment in your life. So I've had cases where they have looked at what the people were wearing to the marriage ceremony. So somebody had worn shorts and they commented on that in the decision. It's really, really important to really respect the whole moment of getting married. So before marriage, during the marriage ceremony, and also marriage, that you want to make sure that you have documents to show that you were together.
All right, 9 questions, 50 seconds. It's Friyay. Let's leave on high and get some balloons instead of blowing up. You ready, guys?
Yes. Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Ready?
Go.
Had an F1, but I'm no longer a student. What visa can I get?
No visa. You're out of status.
Been in the U.S. for 20 years. Do I need a sponsor to file for me?
Yes.
Stayed out of the U.S. for over a year on a green card. Can I return?
SB1 visa.
Is applying for the USCIS citizenship online easier?
Same.
Can I file for my husband if I never worked or filed taxes?
You can, but you need a second affidavit of support.
Can you get a biometric waiver for the I-539?
No.
Is a certificate of citizenship needed to renew a U.S. passport?
No, you can have an old U.S. passport to renew it.
Should I bring a lawyer with me to the interview?
Yes.
Can an F1 student get a green card through the military?
No, they're not going to be allowed in the military. That was really good. That was solid information. 9 questions, 9 answers in 50 seconds. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Let's get a Friyay groove.
That was a Friyay. That was good. There we go. There's our music. That got me in the mood. And of course, I'm dancing by myself, and there's the cat. Just in case the cat should know. The cat should know. The cat couldn't even be a human, let alone answer 9 questions in 50 seconds. It took 30 seconds for that cat to figure out how not to be a cat. It took me 50 seconds to answer 9 questions, Judge.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Nice.
Comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day.
Comments of the day.
Or maybe there are none. Oh, there are comments of the day. Okay. What do we got?
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from...
There we go.
Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed, saying exactly what it is, popping up on Brad Time Central. Yes.
That's funny.
That's exactly what
Oh,
it is.
Jessica Leamy, you are so a VIP, you know. Our next one comes from Barry Slusher. And Barry says, Brad, love your show so much. You are doing a great job. I watch your show every evening at this time.
Ah, thank you very much, Barry Swisher. Is that
Nice,
Swisher
nice.
or Switzer?
Slusher.
Barry Slusher.
Slusher.
Slusher, thank you very much.
Slusher. All right, and our last comment of the day for the week.
Yes.
Before Valentine's, y'all. Letitia Johnson. And she says, having immigration issues and need to be qualified, call 1-800-LAW-LINK to get Bradified. Feel free to put him to the test. It never fails. Brad Bernstein has proven to be the best.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Whoop, I'm out of the picture. There we go. Thank you very much. That was really,
That's a
what
way to end
a
the week.
beautiful way and what a nice thing to say about me. Thank you very much. Well, we're going to be off on President's Day, so we're going to take a 3-day weekend. We're going to be back live on Tuesday. In the meantime, have a happy Lunar New Year. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend, Yo-Yo, Vanessa. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Valentine's Day, Chinese New Year. It's the weekend. It's Friyay. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.